And so my idea was, once he sprints, I'm gonna just jump him. Like, I'm gonna give it my hardest go. And so I do exactly that. He gives a little sprint, and then I get up to 1500 watts. What's up, y'all? I hope everybody's having a great Sunday. Today we're looking at some footage of past Tuesday's Winston Salem Crit at the fairgrounds. This is the 1-2-3 race, and right away we're gonna have some interesting moves. John Hamlin from Velocia Sports is taking off, and you may be wondering why I'm not glued to his wheel and going after him. It's because I am on Velocious now. I have been racing with them for 3 weeks. I've been doing some pretty awesome racing up in Pennsylvania. We had Easton Twilight, we had Somerville in New Jersey, just got back from Commerce, Georgia, doing some stage racing, and I finally agreed to become a Christmas decoration. But the jersey is kind of growing on me, so I wasn't a huge fan before, but it looks good. I'm not gonna lie. But now we have CJ Burford from Lux Cycling. He just got back from Europe doing some big road racing out there. It's good to see him again and kind of hear about his road race experiences. He was saying how he would put 5 watts per kilo up climbs and be getting dropped. So I hope, CJ, this was a refresher for you, and this was nice to race something that was a little bit easier, even though this was not easy by any means. So there you have it. That's the first lap of this race. So let's see who else is in this field. We have David Davenport from Kelly Benefits, great rider. We have Will Harden from Project Echelon. He's the true danger man for this race. Then we have Joe Rose from Benissimo, which I looked up. Google told me means very good in Italian, so the more you know. We have Nico from Velocious, and we have Alex, also my teammate. He does some pretty cool stuff on a cyclocross bike, as you can see. Then we have David Flynn from Ken's Bike Shop. So all of these guys are strong racers, either 1s or 2s. I think we have some 3s in here. But the point is, it's a fast race. Everybody wants to get down to business, and we have Will from Project Echelon. He just got back from the Armed Forces race in DC, so he's got some tired legs, but his body is used to this high intense cross or crit racing. We're not in cross yet. I'm looking forward to cyclocross season, but we're racing crits. So he's driving the pace here, and it's painful just sitting on these wheels, sitting in the draft, and you know the dude is strong when you're trying to put 500, 600 watts out just sitting in the draft. And so I want to say this is Joe up ahead trying to bridge his way back to the leading 2, John and CJ, but Alex is here. And this corner, guys, this was tough to figure out. Even though it's a very shallow left-hander, I always felt like I was going to catch my pedal, but Alex does a great job of pedaling through that corner and actually distances me a little bit. So I'm going to fast forward this and kind of see how we bridge up to Joe. Alex takes a really strong pull, and then I come back to Joe. And then right here, I'm exhausted. I'm just hoping, please nobody counter this. And I was wrong, because Will, of all people, it had to be Will. He counterattacks and makes a very good move at a very good time when me and Joe are pretty tired. But Joe keeps on mashing, even though he just spent the past lap and a half on the front. He's committed to bring back Will, because this is the true danger guy. He's the only pro in this race, so we're not letting him get out of sight, to say the least. I think he was really the rider that was marked for all of us. And so we slow down, and my guess here when I was in the race was, oh, somebody's gonna counter, because we're going pretty slow, we're just chilling, and there's still 2 riders up the front. But we're gonna take the next half lap fairly relaxed and bridge up to CJ and John pretty slowly. But now we have a group of 6 or so riders, I want to say, and this is really the main group that is going to decide the end of the race. So now we have 2 more riders. I have my teammate Alex on the front, and I believe Joe also joined him. And so there's a lot of weird gaps going on, and I'm struggling to get back on John's wheel, who's sitting 5th wheel. And guys, if you're racing or you're getting interested into racing, one of the biggest lessons I've learned is never give up until you're truly dropped. And how do you know if you're truly dropped? That's when you're a half lap behind or something and you're gonzo. It's like you have no shot of being in the race. And I'll post a video here soon of East and Twilight of me getting truly dropped, and that was a pretty ugly sight. So we have Will going again. He wins the most aggressive rider award, at least in my opinion. He was always making the moves, and he was really determined to get away, either solo or with somebody else. But I am still struggling to get on Alex's wheel, and this is why these training crits are important to me. Is my top end has kind of been lacking recently, and I've been, especially in road races, as my endurance suffers, I can't rely on my top end to close gaps. And so the idea here is to work on my top end, like chasing CJ down and then getting on these wheels quickly, because the quicker you hop on these wheels, the less you have to suffer in the long term. And so I'm thinking here, CJ is fresh. He just came back from Europe. We got Will, who's a great wheel to be on. So I put in 1200 watts here and try to get around them and see if they want to chase me. See if we can get some distance and maybe form a breakaway. Because at this point, we're 21 laps in. I'm tired, which usually means other people are just as tired. And I look in the shadow, I look behind me, and everybody's still glued to my wheel, which I was kind of bummed about. So I just rejoined the group and see if there's any other moves. We have Joe going, and I let Alex and Will close that gap so I don't have to work as hard. And then I'm just sitting, again, sixth wheel, trying not to get dropped, not giving up, and putting in a consistent 300, 400 watts just to stick with this group. And so over these past few laps, there's probably been 5 or 6 attacks, I want to say. And there goes another one where it was just super hard to stay on those wheels. And eventually somebody was going to pop. There was going to be a field split. And so I was really aware of that. And I had to be vigilant that there was going to be an attack and whose wheel was I going to follow, that sort of thing. So those were the types of things that were going on in the back of my head, and probably in the back of everybody else's head. So this is the straw that broke the camel's back, I want to say. We have footage from Will, and this is the winning move, if you want to say that. You see me, I go off the front, but this was no harder than the previous attacks. So when we got away, I was really confused. I was like, wait, we got away? And the reason is because John, my teammate, was blocking for me. Alex was also doing a great job blocking. But then a lap later, Joe goes, I'm all in if you are. It's like, what do you mean? I look back, it's like, whoa, we have a gap. Yeah, let's do this. This sounds fun. So fast forward to like 41 laps, about 20 minutes later, me and Joe establish a half lap lead, which for this course really isn't that much, because you can always see the breakaway, you can always see the group, and you can never get out of sight, truly. And so I was mashing, he was mashing, and we were taking these half lap pulls, and you can see in my training peaks, this is really cool. The section highlighted is the breakaway effort, which was an average of 312 watts, but the purple pink line you can see is so much more consistent than the front half of the race, where we were punching, going super hard. We averaged about 289 watts, or I did at least. And that second half is way smoother. So that's what contributed to the successful breakaway, is me and Joe found out a system where I would lead this front stretch, the finish stretch, and he would lead the back stretch, and we would use each other and help each other out. But anyways, fast forward to 1 to go. I'm pretty tired here, but we have a healthy gap of about 20 to 25 seconds. So unless we crash or drop a chain or get a flat tire, we are going 1-2. So we're thinking about the finish, at least I am, and I was totally anticipating Joe to take off here and totally gap me, because he's got a longer sprint. I have the shorter, poppier sprint. So around here, I was really surprised that he didn't take advantage of me and kind of just leave me in the dust. But he is going to let the sprint settle it, which I'm happier being second wheel. I have a little bit of a draft, and so my idea was once he sprints, I'm gonna just jump him. Like, I'm gonna give it my hardest go. And so I do exactly that. he gives a little sprint, and then I get up to 1500 watts, which is probably the best sprint I've seen out of me in a really long time. So I sustain it, and I don't look back, which is something I've been working on, is just driving to the line. I ended up getting the win, and I was really excited about that. And so there you have it. There's another Winston Salem weeknight crit. There's some race stats if you guys are interested. I have tons more videos coming out in the future, so look out for that, and I'll see y'all in the future.